Hi, Jeff Price here. Welcome to Season 3 of Telling Tales. We have brand new stories for you. We'll take you from the Sahara Desert and time travel to a dystopian future. We'll meet up again with John Paul Doherty and Mary McGlade. Now, all the stories are free to download, and if you enjoy them, why not buy me a cup of coffee? The link is on the podcast front page. I hope you enjoy them. The Unexpected Guest. As the phone rang, John was suddenly shaken out of his sleep. He pulled back the duvet and reached for his mobile. Veronica Stewart's name was flashing on the screen. "Hi, Veronica." His voice was raspy and heavy with sleep. "What time is it?" Hi, John. I'm calling you like this, but it's an emergency. I have a 10-year-old boy at Benwell Police Station. His mother has been taken to hospital after a suspected overdose, and I can't find a place for him. Veronica was working the night shift for Newcastle Social Services Child Protection Department. Stop. I'm going into the kitchen. I'm making myself a coffee. Call me back in 10. The dismembered voice under the duvet muttered, "Who's that?" "It's Social Services. Veronica. She's calling back in 10. Go back to sleep, Simon. I'll sort it." In the kitchen, John popped a coffee pot into the machine and pressed the button. Within a second, a small cup was filled with thick black espresso. His brain began to focus. He and Simon had been through the training for fostering, had agreed to be on the emergency list. This could be their first placement. The phone rang again as Simon shuffled into the kitchen, hair dishevelled. "Hi, Veronica. You're on speaker, and Simon is here as well." "Hi, boys." It always amused John that as a gay couple, people often referred to them as the boys, even though both of them were rapidly approaching 50. "He's called Robert, but prefers Robbo. 10 years old. He's upset and frightened, and they had nowhere else to take him but to Byker Police Station. Have you got your room ready? Are you two ready for this? It's a baptism of fire, but that's how it goes. I tried everyone, and you're my last hope." "Well, none taken," Simon muttered in the background. "I heard that," Veronica replied sharply. "Look, I wanted to ease you two in, but I'm desperate." John looked at Simon, who gave him a tired but determined nod. "The room's ready, and Simon can get some food prepared." "Good idea. I don't think he's eaten much today." "I'll be at your place in 20 minutes. Thanks, boys." Veronica's Prius pulled up outside John and Simon's house in the leafy streets of Gosforth. It was 3 in the morning, and the streets were deserted. Robbo sat silently in the passenger seat, staring out into the darkness. He'd hardly said a word since they left the police station. John watched from the window as the boy climbed out of the car. Robbo was smaller than he'd expected, thin in oversized clothes that looked like they hadn't been washed in days. He stood on the pavement for a moment, craning his neck to look up at the Victorian terrace house with its bay windows and small front garden. "It's nothing like Warhoose," Robbo said quietly as Veronica approached the front door. The door opened before they could knock. John and Simon stepped out, trying to look as welcoming as they could at such an early hour. "Robbo, how nice to meet you. I'm John, and this is my husband Simon," John said gently. Simon crouched down slightly to Robbo's level, held out his hand. Robbo hesitated, then stepped forward and shook it with surprising firmness. "I'm Robbo, and me mam's bad and in hospital." His voice was matter-of-fact, but John caught a tremor underneath. "I'm very hungry. All I've had to eat's a Kit Kat and a packet of crisps." "Well, we can definitely fix that," Simon said, standing up. "Come on in, Robbo. How does pasta sound?" "Sounds champion." And for the first time a genuine smile spread across Robbo's face. In the warm kitchen, Robbo sat at the large wooden table while Simon busied himself at the stove. John poured coffee for Veronica. noting how Robbo's eyes were darting around the room, taking in the granite worktops, the expensive coffee machine, the view into the back garden. "There's a bag of clothes we managed to grab from home," Veronica said quietly to John. "But to be honest, I put them in the wash first. The house was, well, it wasn't in good condition. Poor kid." She handed John a file of papers. "Sheila, his social worker, will be in touch tomorrow. He can take a day off school. If one of you can get the day off work, that is. There's all the details here, plus a load of other information. Sheila'll go through it with you. For now, just make sure he's fed and looked after." "What about the mother?" John asked. "Won't he want to see her?" Veronica's expression darkened. "Put him off for now. When he asks, just say the doctors need to look after her. We'll explain the situation properly once we know, but for tonight, it's best he stays here. And John, thanks again. You're probably saving this kid's life." Robbo looked up from his steaming bowl of pasta. "Bye, miss." "Bye, Robbo. Be good for John and Simon." After Veronica left, the kitchen fell into a comfortable quiet, broken only by the sound of Robbo eating. John marvelled at how the boy demolished the pasta, as if he hadn't eaten properly in days, which John realized he probably hadn't. "How about a shower before bed?" John suggested. "And you don't have to go to school tomorrow. I'm taking the day off work, so you can sleep in for as long as you want." "Sound!" Robbo looked up, pasta sauce around his mouth. "Are you guys puffs and that?" John and Simon exchanged quick glances. They'd heard worse versions of that question thousands of times, but from Robbo it came without malice, more like asking if they supported Newcastle United. "Yes, but we prefer the word gay," John said calmly. "Sound? He's your husband, then?" Robbo pointed at Simon with his fork. "Yes." "Are you his wife, then?" "No, we're both husbands." Robbo considered this for a moment, then shrugged. "All right, whose pasta is this? It's proper mint." "What do you mean?" Simon asked. "Well, where'd you get it? Lidl or Aldi or something?" "Neither. I made it from scratch." Robbo's fork stopped halfway to his mouth. "Well, not out of a tin or a packet?" "No, fresh pasta. I made the sauce too." "Bloody hell!" Robbo stared at Simon with new respect. "Can we see me mam tomorrow?" The casual way he changed the subject caught John off guard. "I'm not sure. Sheila's coming to talk to us. Do you know her?" "Ah, yeah, she's from the council. She helps me mam sometimes when things get bad." Robbo's voice became smaller. "They get bad a lot." "What do you do to help your mum?" Simon asked gently, sitting down across from Robbo. "I do jobs, deliveries and that for our friend Bob. Bob says I'm mint at deliveries. Just around the estate I know all the streets, and Bob has regular customers, so I know where they all live." Robbo spoke with pride, unaware of the concerned look that passed between John and Simon. "What sort of things do you deliver?" John asked carefully. "Dunno, just packages, letters, I don't know. Bob says I'm like the postie, but I don't have to wear shorts or ride a bike." Robbo's face fell slightly. "I had a bike once, but Mam sold it when she needed money." Simon reached across and squeezed Robbo's shoulder. "Well, we don't need to worry about any of that now. Do you have a job, by the way, John?" John understood. Simon was changing the subject. Yes, I sell mobile phones." "Oh, that sounds cool," Robbo said. "It really isn't. It's quite boring, actually." Robbo turned to Simon. "What about you?" "I'm a lawyer." Robbo's eyes widened. "I know about lawyers. Me mum has one when she goes to court." "Do you know me mum? She's there quite a lot." "No, I deal with property, houses and buildings. It's all very boring, but it pays well." "Is he minted then?" Robbo asked John conspiratorially. "Minted? Yeah, property minted. Rich." John glanced around their kitchen, seeing it suddenly through Robbo's eyes. "I suppose we're minted, yes." Simon and Robbo chuckled at John saying minted. "Thanks for the pasta." "Can we have a McDonald's tomorrow? I love them. Mam gets them sometimes when she's flush." Robbo paused, his fork hovering over the last few pieces of pasta. Do I have to do me jobs tomorrow? No jobs for you tomorrow, John said firmly. We might light the fire pit in the garden and Simon can make burgers. Robbo looked confused. What, like microwave burgers? I don't like them. They taste like paper. No, on a barbecue, proper burgers. Bloody hell! Robbo sat back in his chair, overwhelmed. This place is like some fancy house you see on the telly, like on cruise ships or something. Only you don't have to fly anywhere. I've never been on a plane. Mam said we're going to Spain once, and I think that's somewhere near London, but it didn't happen. His voice became very quiet. Do you think she's going to die? The question hung in the air. John felt his stomach clench at the matter-of-fact way Robbo asked it, as if he was preparing for the possibility for a long time. She's getting really good care at the hospital, John said gently. The doctors will be doing everything they can to help her. Right as rain, Robbo said with a sad smile. That's what me mam always says when she's hungover, or you know. I'll be right as rain, pet. But there's nothing right about rain in Newcastle, is there? Simon cleared his throat. Come on then, let's get you that shower. It's nearly 4 a.m. now. As Simon showed Robbo upstairs, explaining about the spare room and its ensuite bathroom, John sat alone at the kitchen table. He pulled out his phone, scrolled to his boss's number. His finger hovered over the keyboard for a long moment, then he began typing. The text was short and to the point. Won't be in tomorrow. Sorry. He hit send, switched off his phone. Some things were more important than selling mobile phone contracts. From upstairs he could hear Robbo's voice, bright with amazement. A shower in my own room, and it's got one of them glass doors, like films. Simon's patient voice replied, That's right. There are clean towels on the rain. Now put some pyjamas on the bed. Pyjamas! I usually sleep in me kecks. Well, tonight you get proper pyjamas. Now get yourself ready. I'll come back in 15 minutes and make sure everything is okay. John smiled to himself, began clearing away the dinner plates. Tomorrow would bring social workers and difficult conversations as decisions about Robbo's future. But tonight, for the first time in who knows how long, a 10-year-old boy would go to sleep in a warm, safe bed with a full belly and clean pyjamas. It was a start. If you enjoyed this episode, then please support my podcast by buying me a coffee. It's £2 a cup. Click the heart logo in the top corner of the website page to donate. If you're another podcast provider, then check out buymeacoffee.com and search for Jeff Price N3. Thank you. You can contact Telling Tales direct by emailing tellingtalesjeffprice@gmail.com. Until the next time, goodbye.